That game at East Lansing between these two, a 91-66 final. And it was over by halftime with Michigan State leading by 19. So a quick start in that one. And really it's been the same story at the Big Ten tournament. Quick starts for the Spartans.
I really like Tom Izzo when he said, we think that we can guard their guards. We're worried about their interior game. There are some really neat matchups here.
Granger just inside the arc for an opening two.
And he always extends the defense as being that big man that can step out.
McLean, who didn't score in the first matchup, is on the board already. Did not score a single point in the first matchup.
Jim, that was a premeditated move. When you come out in basketball and say, I'm taking my man and taking him right to the hole, McLean just had this in his mind before this game ever started. That's interesting. And we're talking about a guy that really never looks to score first. He's on Cleves, so you've got no advantage for Cleves in this case in regard to strength and power. There's a switch. Granger outside. Cleves got a big man. They're going to get the ball back to Cleves and not let him switch back.
Double up on Hudson and fouled. Pushed from behind by Cook.
There are some bad mismatches if Illinois is going to switch as frequently as they've shown so far. There you had Johnson on Cleves. And you can rotate the ball back out, get it to Cleves, and let him go 1-and-1.
Granger left open again. Bradford picks up the loose ball.
Both Illinois guards terrific rebounders, Bradford and Williams.
An Illinois team that's 21-8 on the year, but closed the season 12-2, all against Big Ten competition.
Now this is about as healthy as Illinois has been all year. The only thing held them back with the constant injuries.
Johnson is firing on a three. Michigan State quickly now on the break. Peterson lost the handle. And Illinois strips it away. Mike Williams, freshman guns, three-point way short. As Johnson saves it. Way out to Bradford. Good block.
Good recovery by Bell, too, realizing that Bradford has no limit to his range, so he got out there quickly.
Bradford, three-pointer.
Illinois not going inside early in this game. I think they're making a mistake. That'll let Cook touch it a little bit.
Leaves pull up. Short. McLean pulls it away.
Both teams playing at a pace. It's taking away what they'd like to do best.
Inside McLean. Thought about it.
This is not Illinois basketball in this particular game, and you can see Michigan State's Tom Izzo saying the same thing. Slow this game down a little bit. Get your bearings. People who say this game doesn't mean anything, you can tell it means one thing. All these kids are competitors. They're wanting to beat that opponent.
Yeah, there's a lot of intensity. You can see it right here's one play from Lucas Johnson. Bumped by Bell outside.
They both played at Michigan. Michigan State won by 51, and Illinois lost by 4. So, you know, those guys sit around and say, well, they played this team, and that's not but a 55-point difference there. Zone defense by Michigan State.
That 51-point win by Michigan State 8 days ago, inflicting the first worst loss, I should say, ever on the Wolverines, 114-63.
There's the zone. Look for Bradford to try to get out beyond it and get a pass for the jump shot. Right there. Ball was touched. Nice piece of refereeing there. The ball was touched.
Shot clock though.
There's the 6.
Williams gets it back, and finally Michigan State, this helter-skelter pace at the start.
Well, I think that Illinois would be smart to go down to Cook a time or two, let him touch it, get some feel for the half-court offense. Richardson in the game now, another athlete that can go in sky. He's got McLean on him. Constant switching, you notice there? Illinois switches on every screen.
Leaves, wants to go one-on-one. Put it up wildly.
He steps back to go when he does McLean.
Johnson to Cook, and Cook draws the foul. Now McLean, so versatile, he can play so many positions for you. Whistle on Hudson, his first, 2 for Cook.
Illinois comes off with some players that can be instant offense and defense. Yesterday we saw Kapalia, who was the MVP of the game as far as how we saw it. He isn't in there yet. I'm anxious to see when Lon Kruger will go to this bench.
Iowa State with an explosive start on Oklahoma, doubling them up in the first half.
bet he's sky high for this game.
Well, let me ask you, is Michigan State playing for a #1 seed? If it loses
No,
here,
I think they are #1 seed,
okay,
whether they
win or
lose or
lose.
not. But these kids are playing. That's totally immature. You can just tell the way they're playing. I love Nolan Richardson's attitude. Let's forget about the NCAA tournament. We're playing for today. And I think all of what we're seeing out right here is these teams are not playing very well because they are such great competitors. It's a sloppy game so far.
Traveling against Hudson. Now, I will say this, there are those out there who believe it's so crowded at the top right now, factoring in the likes of Temple. Maybe Cincinnati's chance is still alive. You can see in the regular season, Michigan State shared it as far as conference regular season with Ohio State. Ohio State lost its first round game here to Penn State. There are those who believe that maybe Michigan State is vulnerable, and I would think that Tom Izzo has stressed that point a little bit to his team as well. And if it loses here, who knows, could maybe cost them a run. I agree with you, though. I don't think so.
Nice decision by Mateen Cleaves. He had an open jump shot, but he really has good decision processes on the floor. Instead of taking a jumper, he got it to a better person, gets it low, and makes a nice play for an easy shot.
It's the first field goal in the game by either side in over 4.5 minutes.
McLean really wanted to be down in the low post. There's the answer for Illinois. Let Cook touch the ball inside. A lot of good things are going to happen after that. He has such excellent hands, even though he gives up some power. He can play in that low post. Another team.
They whip it around to the open man. It's Bell, two-point shot, spins out. He chases it down, though. Gives it up, Hudson for the two.
Charlie Bell, solid basketball player who really didn't show up much yesterday. But he's the kind of guy who's had some 20-point games this year. Can come up big, always gives you good defense. He's on Bradford now.
Three. Just a couple now. He's made one in every college game he's played in. Bell up ahead to the trailers. Peterson.
Again, Cleaves realizing that Bell can really get up in the air and has the good hands. Normally that would not be a good pass to the typical college basketball player, but he knows what Bell's capable of. And Peterson with that great speed just was able to outlet McLean.
Bradford over Bell for two. It's tied at 8.
Boy, I love these matchups in the backcourt. Bradford and Cleaves, Bell and Williams.
You made the statement earlier today that Cleaves is the best point guard in college basketball.
I really think that he is. When you take everything in consideration, defense, offense, leadership, ability to pass, break down the defense.
Yesterday, number 33 also. Marcus Griffin, number 52, and number 32, Cleonis Brown. 3 subs for Illinois.
And Illinois does not fall off when these 3 guys come in. As a matter of fact, I think for this kind of game, they have a big advantage over Michigan State.
Saw the fresh sub for Michigan State, Adam Ballinger. Committed a foul in his first minute of action.
As they say, Ballinger is not a spec. Up on the boards again, but he pushes over the back. Well, I'll tell you, Illinois getting away with murder on their switches. That time they had 2 men on Peterson, nobody on Hudson.
Hudson, Griffin on him, Cleaves left open jumper, too strong. Follow-up try, was in and out by Richardson.
That's Richardson. When we saw him go up in the Connecticut game we had earlier this year on CBS, there's no limit to how high he can go. There he is again.
Bradford struggling from the perimeter today.
It's a nice job by Frankie Williams getting out. There's the 2-3 zone matching up that we saw Illinois use yesterday. Griffin in the middle. Big wingspan trying to patrol that paint area. Be a good guy to attack from behind, but Granger doesn't see the opening. I don't think Griffin realizes what's behind him.
Richardson follows up with a slam.
Richardson is amazing. Had 12 rebounds against Minnesota, big games against North Carolina. And that was 14 points and 7 rebounds against Connecticut, which is really the coming out. He will be amazing.
assist.
Illinois has the superior bench. And you know, in a tournament where you play 3 days in a row, that has to help.
Mike Chappelle has come in for the Spartans, number 20. Working the baseline, now comes over to touch it for the first time.
But all of Michigan State's bench is on the perimeter. Illinois has a bench both ways. They can come in the backcourt with the likes of a Harrington and Brown, and they can come inside as well.
5 on the shot clock. Granger goes and fires it, gets it. That's a 3.
Huge basket. You know that Granger is not going to put the ball on the floor and dribble to the basket. So as a defender, he should always be out there in his face.
Sets the pick. Williams takes advantage. Unable to finish that round. Stopped by Ballinger. They say got a piece of the arm. Are they going to call it on Richardson? Call on Richardson. A senior. Really the only senior seeing any action for this Illini team.
Victor Chukadebe is a fellow that you would have thought when this season started would be seeing action, but he has had all kinds of physical problems. And well, Corey Bradford at 32 minutes a game is playing more than anybody else on this team, but then it drops off to guys playing basically around 20 minutes a game. He and Frank Williams, the only ones over 30.
Brown bangs home 2. 1-point lead for the Spartans.
Game staying tight as it did last year for a while until Michigan State just blew it open before the half. There's the switches that Michigan State so far not taking advantage of.
Granger tipped out, back to him. Bell retrieves it. Nice for that. Hudson. Auburn from behind. Griffin hit with his second. A win today would be the highest ranked team his Fighting Illini have defeated in his 4 years. Michigan State 4 in one poll, 5 in the other. You know, I was talking to him on Friday about that, the highest ranked team, and he reminded me when he was at Kansas State, he beat Missouri when Missouri was ranked number 1.
Nice piece of information, James. I thought I was all over it with the Florida situation.
Just happened to discuss it with the coach. But that was the one you're alluding to was down in Miami in the East Regional, and Florida on their final fly here in Charlotte. Directed by Ron Kruger.
A man who had a pretty good time in Florida, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Had a pretty good day today for Arkansas, didn't he?
Richardson won the championship there. Nice piece of coaching by Nolan to take his young team to the tournament.
Bradford. I love the way Bradford turns that inner foot in to square him up on the basket, whether he comes off the screen, right or left. Always square to the basket.
Chappelle, open 3.
Never has had the touch here.
Saved by Propalia. Bradford doesn't have the numbers. He waits. Kicks to the corner. Brown with the 3. Rebound.
Those were good decisions by Bradford. Knew he had men behind him. Kept using his crossover dribble. How about that, what he just said? He said to Brown, good shot. Showing leadership.
He's only a sophomore, Corey Bradford.
And you know what? Here comes that teammate of his that he just encouraged with a steal and a dunk.
You're right, Billy. You know, you pump up a teammate who has to make a play.
Absolutely. Nice job.
Illinois in front by 1. 8 minutes to go in the half.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if Michigan State's a 1, Jim, this Illinois team is one of those guys say, give me a dark horse, huh?
Turnover. Where would you see Illinois in the brackets?
Plus, there's some pretty good perimeter defense being played. There's Cook stepping out. Again, the kind of shot I'm talking about. He can get a better shot early in the clock than that one. One of the things that happens when you take shots before your teammates anticipate you're going to take them, you're never having your teammates in position to rebound. So it hurts you both ways.
And another turnover.
Bradford got hit and looked like right in the head or the eye. The factor of injuries. Trying to work your way to a championship. I thought, Jim, you pointed out you had heard earlier today that interview with Bob Huggins. in terms of the quality of his team and Kenyon Martin in that situation, and how a quality kid that Kenyon was in regard to his comments and the way he came back after his injury to go out and support his team at that ball game. Well, I don't want anybody to start telling me that he didn't mean much to that team if they ever saw him play that game in Chicago against the Bull.
Granger with a three. Okay, one thing that helped Cincinnati's case, though, is that, again, the team that beat them went on to win the conference tournament in St. Louis. It's not like they lost to a team that was waxed the next day. They played a team that...
Well, plus the emotion for the kids on the floor for Cincinnati that day, wondering about his situation. Nothing anyway from St. Louis's win. Here we have rebounding advantages again. Michigan State.
Bell from the side, yes. And Michigan State with a little flurry here. 5 unanswered out of the break. One team that was not on that list was Wright State.
Yeah, how about,
believe it or not, may have pulled off the biggest upset of the 90s in college basketball regular season play, beating Michigan State this year.
That, to me, is almost close, but not close, to Chaminade beating Virginia. Remember that time?
That was in the 80s. That would have been the upset of the 80s. Back out to Peterson. Still a real scrappy game. Hudson, McClain comes over. And will they call it on him?
Team right here in this town, Northwestern. Never been in the NCAA. I think next year in the play-in game, they ought to let Northwestern play in as one of the teams. Palia comes into the ball game. It balances some of that rebounding edge that Michigan State normally has. Thomas on a reach. Jim has a little check on Corey. I don't see him back out on the floor yet.
Yeah, he's not on the bench.
Nope.
He probably x-rayed.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, lays it in for 2.
He's going to get a lot of minutes in this game because he really creates a presence inside. Nice hedge move by Cook. Williams doesn't switch over.
Richardson and 1.
Richardson's given up some inches there.
Illinois down 6.
Oh, boy. You can't let Williams get inside. He just took Cleves one-on-one that time. No help.
Been a 9-4 advantage, though, for Michigan State since Bradford went out. Beautiful pass. And 1 again.
Wow, did Granger thread it that time? And the tremendous hands on the inside.
Peterson will graduate in May in Family Community Services. His last scholastic obligation is just fulfilling an internship at Parkwood YMCA in Lansing.
He has played more games at Michigan State basketball than any other player.
Near steal by Richardson.
Richardson's enjoying playing in this game. There's the help on Williams, so he didn't have the open look.
Harrington way out there. Cook rebound, tough pass.
No chance for Brown to be able to catch that one.
Illinois now 0 for 9 from 3.
I don't think we've seen Michigan State totally dominate the glass. And that's kept this game close, but they've got a 7-point working margin right now.
Cook clears for Illinois. Illinois has led at halftime its last 12 games. The last team to lead them at the half was Michigan State. Here's the steal. Richardson to Cleves, might come back to him. Well, probably a little tap pass.
Richardson couldn't get the space that he needed to elevate for the shot, and how about that smart move that he did, tapping it back to Cleves. And 3-on-1 break.
Largest lead of the game for either side. 9-point advantage.
Last year when Michigan State beat Illinois, they scored 14 points off of turnovers in the championship game.
Had 2 right there. Krapolia hacked on the outside. 1-1 for Krapolia. Tom Izzo directing Michigan State this year to a 3rd straight 20-win season. That's the first time in school history they've had 3 straight 21 seasons.
You know, Judd Heathcote's not going to appreciate you bringing that up. And Judd's the guy that
was a
trained.
great coach.
He's the guy that trained Tom.
Yeah, he was.
I guarantee
Tom was an assistant for 12 years.
I guarantee in Indianapolis, Judd's going to come up, get right in your face, and say,
I hope not.
He's
one of my all-time favorites. I'm not pinning it on Judd. This is in the history of this program for 100 years.
Well, I thought he coached that team for 100 years.
Now he's going to be in your face. Coach Heathcote, though, winning the championship in '79 and mentored Tom Izzo, who was his assistant for 12.
Now, Jim, one of the things on that particular replay right there, did that ball have a chance to go in?
College basketball, you can sweep it after it's off the glass as long as it's look like it's on the way down.
That's right. And you also can call the goaltending if the ball has no chance of going in. That one looks like it'd be short.
Leaves inside to Peterson.
Now, do you think those guys have ever played together? I mean, that was eye contact. Cleves knew exactly where Peterson was going to be. Beautiful play.
Just a minute to go in the half. Double-digit lead now for State.
Time to get the ball down inside some. McLean trying to do too much one-on-one.
6 on the shot clock.
A lot of one-on-one here. Not Illinois basketball game. Jeff, for those people who saw yesterday, Mateen Cleves shoot his little floating shot that had no spin on it whatsoever. Here you see the pass that he's able to throw that way. And one of the things that's so great is a ball without a lot of spin on it is much easier to catch. So there you see the knuckleball going up. It's a perfect ball to catch. Great eye contact between the two. You see it right there. Look at how easy that ball is to catch. No spin whatsoever. Cleves has that down to a science.
All-time assist man in the Big Ten. Big Ten history. Had 20 last weekend against Michigan, setting the Michigan State and the Big Ten single game record. McLean hits the front end of a 1-1.
You know what I liked about that? He had 8 points, 20 assists. I mean, he's not a guy that worries about how his team is successful.
The 20 assists, just 2 off the all-time NCAA record, held by 3 players: Tony Furley of Charleston Southern, Avery Johnson of Southern, and Sherman Douglas of Syracuse one time had 22 assists in a game. Here's Cleves off the glass for 2.
I think he shot them well. They're going to lose the clock a little more.
Illinois has time, though. 4 seconds. Williams stuck. He's got a big man on him. Ballinger.
Michigan State went zone up.
Brown launches. Oh! A three at the buzzer. Their first of the day.
Look at the stats, Jim. Something that jumps out for you is field goal shooting percentage. Yesterday, Illinois had the best day they've had all year, shooting 60%. Now they're at 31. For Michigan State, they held Northwestern right here in Chicago to 17%. So it's not unusual for them to hold a club down.
Let's see how Bradford is able to handle it now back out here after spending a large part of the first half in the locker room.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, he's showing a lot of courage because he's out here with potentially a broken nose, no mask on it whatsoever, and he just wanted to play. There's the 2-3 zone set up by Michigan State.
5 on the shot clock. They don't seem to be aware of it. 2 on the shot clock. Bradford launches.
Well, for him, I wanted to see that one go in.
But they're doing great. Lucas Johnson just banged it off the leg of Peterson to keep it for Illinois.
They stay right in the zone. Ball through. Well, can't shoot from out there.
And that one dips in and out. Flat shot. Cleves runs it. Thought about going for Bell. Decides otherwise. Now he gives it up. Charlie Bell for 2.
Boy, that was just great decision-making by Cleves. You know, as you said, Jim, we had the perfect angle. Looked like he might go to Bell. He was smart enough to say, wait a minute, even if I give it to Bell, he didn't have a good angle to shoot.
Lucas Johnson with a perfect stroke for 3.
You see the 2 big men stepping out. There's Hudson. Good no call by the official. Johnson trying to go on charge away from the ball.
Chris Hudson ran into him, knocked him to the floor. No whistle. Hudson backing in on Cook. And he'll go to the line for a 3-point play.
Excellent drop step by Hudson. Now he knows he's playing against a freshman who has been told in the scouting report the man's a left-hander. He's going left all the time, so he drop steps and comes back right. Watch this right here. Boom. Cook has been told he's a left-hander. Don't let him go left.
Hudson 7 and 2 today. He had 14 and 11 in the one matchup with Illinois this season. Again, if you're just joining us, Michigan State beat him by 25 in East Lansing.
Well, any coach would love to have a Hudson. You know, night in, night out, he's going to give you the solid performance. Johnson,
he hit the 3 on the last trip. This time he penetrates for 2.
Michigan State right now, what you want to do is to force Illinois to have to play a lot of defense. Don't take bad shots. Got a working margin here. Now, when he comes to help on a double,
Snaps it over to Granger. 10 on the shot clock. Inside Hudson. 2 more.
and there he used that left hand on the other side.
Up ahead though, McClain can't handle it. Michigan State ball.
That was not a good decision. You're down 10. You've got to get into your offense. You can't take a chance on that kind of pass. Again, you just think that what a difference a year makes. Illinois coming in last year in this game just about totally worn out, both emotionally and physically, having played 3 tough games as an 11 seed to work their way to a championship. And really given much chance to do anything. But in this game, I still think they have a chance to make a move here.
A lot of people were holding their breath a year ago. They could have taken a spot away from someone. Peterson with a 3. Not the case today. Both of these teams assured of being in the tournament. Michigan State will likely won. Illinois anywhere from a 3 to, let's say, a 5 seed.
I don't know, Jim.
As far as like a seed, what do you think? 5? 4, 5 maybe? Yes.
Illinois doing a nice job getting that ball down inside. Now they need to get some stops here.
Down 11.
And they are going into Hudson. He's got Cook on his back. Cook better start trying to front Hudson because he's just giving them a real schooling in there.
Michigan State has not missed on the field in this half. 5 for 5. Look out. Peterson with the steal. McClain from behind. And the foul. Peterson with 2.
Peterson a lot faster. Now Peterson hit the cheerleader, but unfortunately he gets up. I hope she's all right. Peterson just quicker, not only to the ball, but he's got more open court speed than does McClain.
State has its largest lead of the day. Bradford
Trying to do it all at once. Give him a lot of credit for courage here.
Lucas Johnson takes it out. That was a 3. Looks like they're almost desperate here. Like it's a last-minute situation. 16 minutes to go. Next year, the Big Ten tournament will return here to the United Center, but in 2002, it will be contested in Indianapolis.
There's the 2-3 zone. Griffin tried to post something down in low, but Hudson beat him to the spots.
Johnson kicked it once, tries to save it into the arms of Michigan State.
Got the numbers. Cleves will know that.
Bell. McClain has it. Johnson is still at the other end.
He should have stayed there because he couldn't help out. He would have had an easy shot.
Bradford, 3-pointer. Yes. He's injured, but he's still playing. Torrey Bradford. Feel that miss by Michigan State a moment ago. Go back to the end of the first half. They made 10 straight from the field. Peterson to the basket. And yes, it is a charge.
And I don't think the basket should count either. And they stay right in this zone. 2-3 zone.
Griffin and someone reached in.
Hudson. You know, the other thing I like about both of these coaches, not only do they compete, but they really have a great disposition during the game with their teams and with their fellow coaches. And then when the game is over, they're the kind of guys you want to go shake hands with, whether you win or lose. You take teams that went a long way last year in the NCAA tournament. What are they losing from last year? Because obviously there is a major changeover. I think Smith's presence in the center made Michigan State last year tougher to play against than this team. And I realize all of these guys are a year older, more experienced, more school in playing basketball than playing in tournament basketball, but they don't have the presence in the middle they had last year. That's going to be McClain, who wouldn't give up on Cleves, who took it as a challenge.
Last year's Michigan State State team versus this year, which one wins?
I think last year's team. I think that although Klein did not shoot well in the NCAA tournament, I think Smith's presence made them a lot different. I mean, he could shut you down defensively on the inside. He's a powerful rebounder.
Leaves at the top of the key with a three. We said here a year ago watching the Big Ten title, and you really felt it was a Final Four team. Like you were. You have that same sense about Michigan State?
I think they could be there. I think this year is a lot different than last year in the whole national picture. But I think last year's team would be a team that not only could get to the Final Four, I really think they probably could win it. Ballinger open. Chappelle doesn't get it to him until it's too late. Nice cut by Cleves. Granger does the right thing. Get the ball back in the hands of the guy who can make it happen for the whole club.
Leaves again. Oh! 2 threes in a row from the team.
You don't see that often. MVP of this tournament last year, and probably will be this year if he keeps this up. You know, Jim, he had a chance to be the first player in the Big Ten since Jerry Lucas did it in 60, 61, and 62 to be the player of the year in the league 3 years in a row. He didn't make it this year, but has 2 of those awards.
Didn't make it partly due to the fact that he only played half the season ago. Because of the stress fracture. Williams draws the foul. In fact, you can really make the argument. One thing about Michigan State is Cleves now. This is game 18 for him.
There's Cleves putting up the jumper. 2 threes in a row.
His outside shooting always having come under such scrutiny.
But I think that his shot looks a lot better this year than it did last year. We talked about that yesterday. He's got the elevation, much a better arc on his shot. Last year he kind of willed them in. This year he's shooting them in.
David Thomas in for Richardson.
Thomas, who took Cleves' place in a role that he really isn't comfortable with, having to be the point guard when Cleves was out.
14-point lead for State.
Michigan State lost some games with him out. Remember, at Arizona, a game at Kentucky. They did beat North Carolina during that stretch on the road.
About that 89% from the field. It's 8 of 9 in this half. Michigan State ups the average, 90%.
Chappelle, who put Chris Carrawell on the bench when he was down at Duke. Carrawell now the ACC Player of the Year. Chappelle getting just some backup minutes here at Michigan State, but he's always had talent.
Really, it seems to me, since Bradford got hurt in the first half, like Illinois has never been in sync offensively ever since, even with his return. Is that true?
Well, I don't think we're seeing Corey Bradford that we know out here right now. I mean, he's got to be hurt a little bit. Nice rebound.
Strong. Takes it out of there.
He doesn't hit it ahead.
Travel.
He really had Bradford on the wing. He should have hit it ahead and let Bradford take the jump shot. And the team Cleves gets a little rest. Bell picks it up as the point.
Chappelle rejected.
That's Cook with a rejection. Good hit ahead.
Williams spins and scores.
Nice move. With the team Cleves out, if Illinois going to make any move at all, they better make it right now. And they should really pick up their defensive intensity out on the ball. Williams has got to get tighter on Bell. Show him why he's not a point guard. Williams staying off. Bradford will do it.
Another shot clock, Thomas.
Some big possession right here. Oh, bad foul.
4 seconds on the shot
Bad
clock.
foul.
Very much looking forward to Monday night, April 3rd, the championship game. And the road to the Final Four about to get started here on CBS as we set the pairings and the brackets here in less than an hour and a half on CBS.
Jim, I like the coaching by Tom Izzo right now. Look at who's over on that bench. Hudson, Peterson, Richardson, and Mateen Cleves. And he's going to try to steal as many minutes as he can, keeping that group rested to make sure that there's no way Illinois comes back and wins this game. Nice thinking in his part.
Williams forced. And Granger underneath.
And he'll go as long as he can. And here's where you have have to put pressure on Bell if you're Illinois. 1-4 set.
Thomas open baseline.
And no block out on the shooter. That was goaltended by Cook.
Tipped up and in by Ballinger.
It's not good news for Lon Kruger right here in these last minute and a half.
Bradford.
Nope. Not going to happen today.
These possessions just don't.
You never get it back.
Yep, they never get it back.
And you never get these minutes back where your other opposing coach is able to sit his 4 key players for 3 or 4 minutes so that they're going to be totally rested to come back here for the final push.
Granger leans in. It's now a 20-point mark.
And if you're Lon Kruger, you might want to call a time here because this is with 9 minutes or so to go. Yeah, he does call a time. You just want to say, hey, guys, if we got any chance at all, we really need to settle down here.
9:31 to go. Talking about Michigan State being a 1 seed, what they hope for, and it certainly looks like it'll pan out that way, is
Auburn Hills.
Auburn Hills to be the regional. Cleveland in the first round, not that far away. And Auburn Hills less than about an hour away.
That was a good here. That was a great block. The official was out of position and misses the call. Harrington goes on the line.
How is that fair? Michigan State gets to be basically at home in the regionals, but they'll also tell you Michigan State, they're still smarting from 2 years ago when they had to go to the East regionals in Greensboro and take on North Carolina, which was Chapel Hill, and almost the same distance from Greensboro as East Lansing is to Auburn Hills.
Well, I remember one, Jim, of great controversy. Remember when Illinois had to go play Kentucky, down in Kentucky, in Ephraim Winters' years at Illinois.
That was a great ball game.
Yes, it was.
That was the 1984 season. Kentucky went on to Seattle that year, too. The Final Four with
Turpin, and Georgetown got a piece of them, and Kentucky couldn't score.
Bell on the shot clock. Long rebound out to Williams. He's got a man ahead. It's Brown. Tough shot. And it's out. Reach in. Foul hold on Michigan State.
Unfortunately for Wisconsin, those were games that they were going to the NCAA tournament for the Final Four.
Nate Season. 1 field goal last 7 minutes for the Illini, down 17. Really struggled from the outside today, only 3 of 19 from 3.
Tom Izzo said in our pregame show that he thinks that he can defend the perimeter game of Illinois, and he certainly was right about that.
Otis Brown will head to the line for a couple.
I guess, you know, was he in the game, Jim? He must be, because he's still on the floor with Lon Kruger. He must have just checked in. I missed that.
Otis Brown has already fired up 11 shots today. That's the most attempts in the season. And Hudson takes it away from Third game in 3 days for both sides.
Yeah, I think from a standpoint of physical conditioning, neither team had an advantage. Games and the competition they played against to get here, not even. You know, it's very interesting. The team please did not know until yesterday that they were not the #1 seed. He just assumed that they were, and Ohio State was actually the #1 seed in the tournament. Jim, how about the postseason conference tournament? Some that went kind of true to form. You get the Connecticut-St. John's matchup, which is, you know, reasonable. You have the matchup here between 2 top teams in the Big Ten. The ACC, Maryland and Duke, the 2 top teams there. Then you had some conferences that just went crazy in the postseason. The SEC. Well, the Big 12 was one that went kind of true to form. 2 of their better teams getting to the top of the SEC and Conference USA were just crazy.
3-quarter by Harrington. We had 4 cases this year. We're a 9 seed in the conference tournament, beat a 1. That included action here.
Jim, another thing that's kind of strange. You know, you always talk about, how about the Tulsa-Fresno State situation? Tulsa was the dominant team, but you know what? Fresno State, the underdog, beat them all 3 times. How often do you see that?
That's a rarity.
Really strange.
And Fresno State, you had them on the bubble, but what do you think? In, out?
I don't know. It's pretty tough to not give them a shot at it when they beat a team like Tulsa that's had such an outstanding year 3 times and won their conference tournament. The trouble is the conference tournament doesn't have the automatic pick.
65-50 Michigan State. It does kind of have a similar tone to it, though, doesn't it?
Michigan State staying in that zone the rest of the way. Macon, Illinois trying to do it from outside. Great to see Granger hit one.
Brings it within 12 with 6:10 remaining in the game.
That shows you what kind of guts he has. The nose is too swollen to x-ray, and he's out here hitting 3-point shots.
Double team on Cleves.
Ron Kruger realizing he's got to make something happen on the defense. Hudson wide open inside. Nobody will give him the ball. On the 1-4 set. Does he hit another 3?
Almost.
Oh, he wanted to hit that one with McClain right there in his face to give it a little talk.
Illinois on a 10-2 run. 3, and look out. Short for Johnson.
Hard to come back, though, Jim, when you're going to take shots like that. Oh, smart play by Ben.
Right over Harris.
Oh, what a nice play. And then it's called with a charge. And you know who drew the charge? Bradford. Still 12 points here. Time winding down.
Here he is, Bradford. Short. They've had 2 chances at 3s to get it under 10. Both misfires. Ryan Cook had 18 in each of the last 2 games for Illinois. Billy only 5 points so far today.
Well, he hasn't had many touches, Jim. He hadn't had 18 touches today, much less 18 points.
Taking 4 shots, and while we continue to power back up here in Chicago, we'll keep you apprised of the score.
Down to 10 seconds again. They go 1-4. I'll tell you what, McClain really did a great job there. Marar having his career high yesterday. Oklahoma will be a tough out in this tournament. Matter of fact, I think all of the Big 12 will be some tough outs.
Go back all the way. Johnson comes up short. The bank shot. 4 minutes to go. Illinois had some chances now with the number at 12, but unable to inch closer.
Well, pretty soon the clock becomes their opponent as well. McClain is giving Cleves trouble and loving it.
Bell.
McClain comes in there, and not only was guarding, Cleves came over to help out. He is some competitor.
Let's see if this trip, the Illini can walk, cut it under 10. No, spins in and out for Bradford. And a foul on Illinois.
Johnson almost picked that one off. And a weak pass.
Cleves came back for his senior year to claim the unfinished business of a year ago. Final 4, but no national championship. Granger, 3-pointer, bouncing around, picked up by Bell. Will reset.
Bell's an outstanding rebounder. Granger's the kind of guy you get caught in mismatches because he'll step out and then the guard fills in behind him. Yeah, I was wrong in that Notre Dame one too. The loss was Providence and Pitt, not BC. But in either case, those are the kind of losses that are hard to come by. You beat Connecticut twice, lose to Providence and Pitt. And if they had those 2 in the bag, they wouldn't be on any bubble at all.
Once they had that early season win at Ohio State.
Can't take this much time. Isn't it amazing how Johnson has become the man? Remember Archibald last year who played so well in the tournament? Getting very little playing time.
Williams spins out. Good. Yes.
Oh, that's got to be the key. Get Cook and get the ball in his hands.
Scoring at last, and within 10, they run out.
Clock becomes their biggest opponent, though. You've got 2 guards like Cleves and Bell out there. A lot of experience on the floor with Peterson and Hudson and Granger. They hard in 2 minutes time to make it up.
That Cook basket, the first points in the game on either side. 4 minutes on the game clock. Illinois got a lot of chances to work it under 10. Bell answers on the other end.
That's his favorite shot. 2 dribbles, a little gliding jumper down the baseline.
Ends a stretch of 7 consecutive misses by Michigan State.
And here's why it is so valuable now. If you remember that Tom Izzo had these 4 starters on that bench.
Lucas Johnson, only a sophomore. Gets the second. Minute 43 to go.
Good job by Hudson to come back and meet the ball. Cleves keeps the dribble alive, then has to call the timeout.
Watch out here. Johnson shoves Cleves. The arms were tangled.
No shots are taken, nobody thrown out, no fight. And a good piece of officiating as they got together there.
And Johnson fouls. Peterson running along the line. That's enough time to rest up.
Oh, absolutely. Just get yourself ready to play. Matter of fact, we've seen teams, Jim, that were playing horribly the last part of the season. I always go back to Villanova. They won a national championship. People said you can't win a national championship unless you play hard-nosed man-to-man. They played zone all the time. They won one. And they were playing horribly the last week of the season. Got knocked out of the Big East tournament right away. Didn't even think they were going to get in the NCAA. And 6 games later, they're the champs.
Minute 25 remaining in this one. For Michigan State is crowned the Big Ten tournament champions for a second year.
Tom Izzo getting a little lesson here. Does his ball club have the ability to work against the press? Now, what I think they ought to do is throw over the top of everything. Illinois trying to play just on this half court. If somebody breaks long, they'll get an easy basket.
Williams gets it to 10.
And again, nobody goes long. Illinois had 5 guys down here doing a great job. Look at that. Granger never giving up.
Bradford just to get it to 7. Granger boxed out. Rebound.
It is so tough.
The associate directors of today's game, Ken Mack, Bob Vasilopoulos, and technical manager of today's game, Rick Godwin. Technical director Scott Sickler, Pat McGrath on stats.
Jim, let me ask you a question. What if Ohio State were in the position right now that Michigan State's in, having a chance to win the Big Ten championship? Would they have been a number 1?
You know, they could have been 2 ones out here, and they made it to this point.
I think that I caught you in a trap where you have about 6 different number 1s. You're giving me the Stanford, Arizona scenario, the Temple scenario, the Duke scenario, the Michigan State, Ohio State scenario, the Cincinnati scenario. I'm at 8.
Now, wait a minute. You asked me had Ohio State hypothesizing they made it to Sunday. They didn't. Had they? Yeah, it could have been different. Williams scores on the drive.
There they go. Long, and they'll have something. They have a layup.
Cleves to Granger, and 1.
First time that they took advantage. Now, you see where you have 1 defender against 2 offensive players on the other end of the floor. You had 4 defenders. The only team I want to make sure I don't broadcast this year is UCLA in this tournament.
You're afraid to face it?
Yeah, that's really got me losing sleep.
Final 25 seconds. Harrington jumper back to the rim.
Granger got a little piece.
Best gives it up. Johnson, he'll take it.
Short. And Cleves does the right thing, as does Illinois. They drop back and realize this game is over.
He's a senior. Let the ball end up in his hands here. Mateen Cleves. There's only one thing in front of him now. It's a run through the NCAA tournament. That's what he came back for.
Okay, what's up, baby? Represent the upper line.
What's up? Yeah, you know, I'm trying to get into it.
What's up?
The Payne Weber CBS Sports Desk is next.
Come here. We really didn't make a big deal about the #1 seed. There's a lot of teams deserving of it. I think we're one that should be considered, but with 7 losses, I could understand it either way, and we got to beat a lot of good teams to advance anyway. So.